it just felt weak compared to other prophecies or other stuff that happened in Pokemon movies.
It was strange. I didn't like that.
So at this point, they're traveling, they're becoming more friends, all that but time is going by, shooting by way too quickly, and I'm trying to remember exactly what would shortly happen after this. Oh, right,
we hear about death.
Was that before or after the battle with Cross?
I believe that was in the cave.
No, that
was in the cave. That was because of Charizard's near-death experience with his tail was going out.
Oh, I thought it was because I remember Ash, he went into this other shadow realm kind of place where he said, where he went to a world where Pokemon didn't exist, and then Sorrel mentions, he goes, it is possible for Pokemon to no longer be with us.
Oh, yes, it is possible for Pokemon to leave us. That's right.
But that's a little ahead. Basically, so around this point, Ash is fighting with other Pokemon. That's when Charmander evolves to Charmeleon. Charmeleon is like buddies with Ash, which immediately threw me off because it's like
disgusted me.
Yeah, because I remember in the theater, you and I were just like, oh, come on. It's like Charmeleon immediately gives Ash a hug. It's like you're supposed to be a dick.
Yeah, that was incredibly disappointing from a nostalgic point of view. Even the first time I watched it, and then the second time I watched it, I'd given up so hard on the idea that they were trying to follow any nostalgia. They were just writing a story and throwing things that they knew we'd like to see and claiming that it was a retelling.
And then that's where Crush decides to show up, because at this point he's following Ash, and at this point we don't kind of know why. It just seems really weird. And that's when he decides to battle Ash, and he has a Blaziken, so that's... Because every Pokemon...
he has a...
not Blaziken, I'm sorry. It was Incineroar.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Blaziken. Fucking A. So he has his Incineroar, and they like I said, the fight was fucking brutal in my opinion. Like it's Blaziken Incineroar against Charmeleon, kicks his ass, and that's when Cross says probably my favorite line in the entire movie, where he goes you lost, used cheap friendship and moves that your Pokemon couldn't use. You're the worst Pokemon trainer I've ever seen, and you'll never win. And the first time I heard that quote, I went, you know what? You are 25% correct on that.
I thought it was very, very cheesy how, friendship was the underlying, theme throughout the movie. It was always friendship. I was like, all right, we get it, friendship.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship is the underlying theme in all children's anime.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
How that works.
Do you know how many critical attacks I've dodged in my Pokemon game because all my Pokemon love me? So yeah. I think friendship is an important thing.
No, of course, but I think they overdid it a little bit with the friendship, but that's just my opinion.
Well, friendship is magic.
But Yu-Gi-Oh! Friendship saved the world on multiple occasions, and they drew a smiley face on their hand.
Friendships are great, don't get me wrong, but to say that in every scene.
Oh, God.
Don't be knocking friendship!
I'm so knocking friendship. Screw friendship. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Twilight Sparkle just had a heart attack. But after Charmeleon gets his ass kicked, that's when Ash starts kind of delving towards, the dark side almost. So he goes, Pikachu could have won that fight. And Sorrel's doing the whole speech of, if all you care about is winning, then you're no better than Cross. And then Ash runs off, and that's when, because he's
we run into the most cliche trope in all of Pokemon, which is the fantasy of a world where everything's black and white and schools are all Japanese.
But what I have to say, what I thought was really cute, I didn't notice it the first time, but the second time I saw it was, I love how they made one of the professors, one of the Elite Four members.
Yeah, Agatha. Agatha played the teacher at the very stock Japanese anime school. The little one where probably the pool's on the roof, and then there's also that fenced-in roof that everybody hangs out at lunch. And all of it was very cliche.
I don't know if it was
God.
just me, but those like cutscenes were very confusing the first time I watched it. The second time it made obviously more sense, but the first time it kind of threw me off. I was like, "Wait, what's going on now?" And like I had to replay it, and it was a little confusing.
Yes, and as we learn, like part of this weird shadow realm where Ash is living in is partly because because his heart's becoming black. I guess it was infecting the Rainbow Wing, and I guess it was sort of caused by Marshadow, or Marshadow was like trying to fix it. I wasn't too sure about that.
I think
I never really pieced that together. I think Marshadow was trying to help. I think
Really?
Marshadow saw what was happening, because Marshadow is supposed to guard the warrior, the hero. So I feel like
but towards the end, it seemed like he was more so like he made like. Oh, we'll talk about that later. Never.
Well, that's because everything had been tainted by that point. But in this earlier part, it feels like he was